Oh, better get on it. Truck behind me. Let's go. Oh, hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Yeah. Today I'm in the wilds of South Dakota. I just passed the Nebraska-South Dakota border. I'll show you some film of the truck I'm in. It's actually a 2020 Chevy Silverado. It's cool, though, in that it's a custom Trail Boss, the 6.2-liter V8 with a 10-speed transmission. So that's pretty cool. You can get all of that configuration, like the Trail Boss 2-inch lift, skid plate, the Rancho shocks. You get the bigger V8, and you get the custom work truck trim. So, wait, what? What did I say? I said custom work truck. This gets people commenting, and I just want to take a moment and a time out from this video to explain why I consider this truck to be a work truck. When I did the event in Jackson Hole, we had the trucks all out there. All the Silverados were up there a couple years ago and had them separated in groups. On the one side, we had work truck and custom work truck is what their marketing was calling them. On the other side, we had LT, RST, LTZ, High Country, Trail Boss, all the trims together. And the reason why I still consider these separate, and I know some consumers are saying, well, no, the work truck is the lowest grade Silverado. Well, the work truck and custom are work trucks to me. And I've had arguments, people saying, hey, the custom's lowest grade. Well, I'm going to show you on the screen visually why marketing considers the custom and the work truck to be kind of in the same group and why the differences between that and the LT. So let's go ahead and get to that. Okay, if we go to Chevrolet.com, truck Silverado, we look at different trims. One of the things that stands out as a reason why I call a work truck trim is you look at these grills. Like I said, Chevrolet spelled out work truck, Chevrolet spelled out custom, and custom Trail Boss all have the same front end. And if I were able to flip these around, they'd all have the same rear as well. When you get over to the LT and RST, which I consider more consumer grade, and marketing does as well, you see the bow ties on the front. Bow tie versus spelled out. And so there's your difference. That's why I consider the custom Trail Boss a work truck trim. There you go. There are the thoughts on why I consider this a work truck. You can see the front grille is different. So when you see that front grille different, that to me is a work truck, whether it's custom or work truck. I understand people's point of view on this. And the rear tailgate has the latch versus the push button. There's your differences. Okay, let's get back to the video. This interior is about their base level trim. And I'll show you, like I said, I'm showing that on the screen. I took some roll while I was walking around, took a little break, get my head back. I was driving a couple hours, and so I thought it'd be interesting in this video to tell you about this custom Trail Boss, do some fuel economy testing in it, which is basically my entire goal here. Is I'm going to drive from my house in western Nebraska to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and so it's I'd say like 500 miles, something like that, 7 hours. And so I thought it'd be interesting to do some fuel economy testing with this. I'm going to tell you what the computer says right now, then I'll do some hand calculation. Hand calculation is always really important. So right now it says I'm getting about 17 mile per gallon average fuel economy, and then I'll give you some driving impressions of the custom on the road. So it's a very windy day here. I should back that up. It's pretty average wind for Nebraska and South Dakota. If you know this part of the country, you know it's wide open spaces, cattle country, and some hills, and the wind comes through the Rockies and just comes down the backside of the plains, and it just blows across these great plains. So it gets really windy out here. I would have guessed today, in a few places I've stopped, it's blowing between 15 to 20 with a westerly wind, little southwest westerly, but mostly west wind. It's a warm wind, which is important, and it is, I should say, it's September, so temperatures today are, where is it on? 82 degrees. Oh, there is no lane departure assist in this truck, so if you go into the lane, you get to hear the rumble strip. So it's 82 degrees today. Again, westerly wind blowing me across the road all day. I'm heading essentially north. If you kind of go, I kind of turned in Gordon, Nebraska, along the border there. I'm heading north up to I-90. When I hit I-90, I'm going to turn right and head east towards Sioux Falls. So I'm anticipating some better fuel economy when I get up heading east with the wind behind me. And we'll see what happens when I turn around, whether the wind keeps up. Typical wind pattern for this time of year is from the west. And as it gets towards winter, we get from the northwest, and that brings that cold air down from the Rockies and Canada should say Canadian Rockies comes down. So this is fairly typical. We do get some southeast at times, depending on what comes up with the Gulf. But again, enough about wind, about weather conditions. I'm going to let you know what I'm driving today, and these are the conditions. So you can take fuel economy for what you want to take it for, but that's what we're looking at. And I can tell you that I've been in this truck now for going on 3 hours, and the seats are all right. I don't always find Chevy seats be the most comfortable seats out there as far as in this segment. I'm not talking about luxury seats. I'm just saying overall, I find Chevy seats to be a little stiff in the back, which if you like a stiff bed, there's seats for you. And I find that the wind noise in here and the noise in the cabin is pretty noisy. I would say, again, agreeably, this is an entry-level truck, as entry-level as they get these days. I'll tell you the pricing in a minute. I'm going to grab the sheet when I pull over later. I'll give you a full review of that. We'll go through the pricing sheet. But for this price point, I think it's 45 in that range. This is their new entry level. This is probably a 30, in my view, it's $35,000, $38,000 truck. Because it's four-wheel drive, because it's custom, because of the Trail Boss, all that kind of stuff happening with it. I will tell you this is considerably louder than the High Country would be, and definitely a lot louder than Denali would be. This has got less sound dampening in it. I can just tell that. I can just hear that. It's just, you know that you got less sound dampening. Oh, there's a really cool truck over there. Anyways, always look at old trucks. Lots of farmers have old trucks sitting in the weeds. So I can tell you that it's louder in this truck than I would like, and so this is probably not a truck I would do long distance without having the radio going. I've been listening to podcasts today. I mean, you gotta have something going in the cabin, some kind of noise going, because it does get rather loud in here. But so let's keep driving. I'm gonna go fill up pretty soon. Well, I got a half tank. I'll go fill up pretty soon, and then I'll do the hand calculations. We'll see where we end up on fuel economy. I don't believe I can make it to Sioux Falls and back. No, I can't make it to Sioux Falls and back. So I should be able to use a full tank in this trip, and again, give you the fuel economy. But I can tell you right now, I'm 2-3 hours in. I got 7 hours, so I got like 4 more hours to go, and I'm not going to be disappointed to get out of this truck after 7 hours and find a more comfortable seat. I'll tell you that, and relax a little bit. So hey, stay with me. I got good stuff coming, and I'm going to Sioux Falls, by the way. Interview a lady who bought a truck she's in a wheelchair, and she's doing the conversion to lift up the side like gull wing doors, and she gets her wheelchair back in. So I'm gonna link that video above, because I think it's a really cool video, and I can't wait to shoot it. So I'm really excited to get to Sioux Falls, because I've always wanted to do this story, and I'm passionate about trucks. And so, hey, stick around, hit subscribe. It's a good time. I'll be right back. Let me go put another couple hours in. All right, I just fueled up with the truck. I'm 95.4 miles away from when I did the fuel up in Sioux Falls. I did a variety of highway driving and city driving. I did some city and majority highway, so it's kind of where the numbers are at. The computer tells me I'm at 14.9 miles per gallon, and that's 95.4, and I just got 6.257 gallons. When I do it on my calculator, and I do the math there, I have 15.24 is my mile per gallon, and that's, again, like I said, it's some city, some construction down to 65, 55 range, and a lot of driving 85. So kind of a mix there. The EPA says that the fuel economy should be 15 combined, 14 city, 18 highway, and so I'm almost damn near right on the number. And what's interesting is the wind today is blowing from the southwest again. So as yesterday I drove with the wind in my back, it's at 17 on the computer. Today I'm driving into the wind, so I'll be curious to see what the fuel economy is going to be when I get back to the house, because it's a lot more difficult driving with a lifted truck and the bigger tires, which is this Trail Boss package has, through the wind. So I do want to point out this is the 6.2 liter with the 10-speed, and so that's the fuel economy I'm getting. That's fuel economy I'm rated. You may be saying, well, hey, the 5.3 is better or the diesel's better. Well, you're absolutely right. I will tell you this, that from a towing experience standpoint, this engine will tow more confidently than the 5.3 liter. And I know on paper the 5.3 tows 100 pounds more than 6.2, but that's a bunch of garbage when you get a trailer behind you. The higher displacement is just going to make a smoother driving experience than the 5.3. Nothing against the 5.3. I don't think it's 5.3 at all. smoother driving experience. Now, the diesel will do a really good job as well. So the diesel is going to be very comparable to this, maybe even a little bit better towing experience because it has that 477 foot-pounds of torque at only 1,500 RPM. So it's a really torquey engine at a low RPM. So you may even have a better driving experience with the diesel than this if you're towing. And with the fact that they dropped the diesel pricing for 2021 down to $995, and this is still $2,500 more than the 5.3, it really does give you a lot to think about. So I'm going to go get back on the highway and get down the road, and I'll kind of give you my final thoughts on driving this truck around and what I think about it. So let me put some stuff down and get back on the highway. All right, out here on the highway with the 6.2-liter V8, 10-speed, and the 2020 Chevy Silverado. This is the Trail Boss package and custom work truck. So I have cloth seats, I have the extended cab, 6.5-foot bed. So just a different truck than what you've been finding with the RSTs or the High Countries and things like that. I can tell you many things. Yesterday I drove, as I did the video, to Sioux Falls from my house, 7.5 hours. I got to my room last night and I was worn out. And I was worn out for a couple reasons. A, it's COVID and I haven't driven anywhere for a long freaking time. And so I wasn't really used to that long drive experience. Also, that this truck, you do give up a few things with not getting the higher trim levels. I know I'll sound like a whiner here and you guys are going to blow me up in the comments. But I tell you what, adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, and even more sound deadening in the cab makes a big difference. It really does when you're driving 400, 500 miles. It wore me down. There was a lot of wind yesterday. The truck was kind of going between the lanes. I was trying to keep it in the lane the best I could. It would have been nice to have a lane keep assist to kind of keep the truck on the lane. It would have been nice to have adaptive cruise so I wasn't constantly turning off my cruise, hitting the cruise again, turning off the cruise, hitting the cruise again. It just kind of aggravated me a little bit towards the end. And it would be nice to have a little more comfortable seats. My butt cheek hurt last night. It just did. And so that's the reality of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it any way differently. I like this configuration. I like this truck a lot. $45,000, a bit high. This is a mid-30s, late 60s, 30s truck. Plastic steering wheel, give it, plastic all the way around. Give it for what you want. A lot of plastic in here. But this is the entry-level truck these days. This is what people are buying for this price point. It's hard to find a truck below $30,000 anymore. It just is. And so, from my aspect, I think this is a great wheeling truck, a great around-town truck, great work truck, that kind of thing. Maybe a 20 to 30-minute commute kind of truck. But a road trip truck, I'm not going to be a fan of that. I wouldn't take this on long trips. I certainly wouldn't tow a lot with this on long trips without understanding what you have. Is it capable of towing? Absolutely. Does a good job? Absolutely. But just understand when you're buying this that you are giving up some creature comforts that are fairly nice while you're on the road. And the fuel economy, that's a pretty tough number to swallow. These days we have trucks that are 20, 25, 30 miles per gallon, and I'm sitting at 15. This is going to hurt the old wallet when I get back to the house. So hopefully you guys watched a ton of this video and play those ads because I'm going to need to get my gas money back out of this hog. So, I knew that coming in. I had asked Chevy for a loan. They gave me this option. This was their choice. And that's what it was. I mean, I knew that's what was going to happen. And I'm glad I did the review on this because it kind of gives you guys out there shopping an idea of what this truck will do on a long distance trip, which is maybe a little bit different than other people have had the chance to do. And certainly my first road trip in a while. And I appreciated getting on the road and seeing the country and seeing the cornfields and seeing what's going on and getting a break. So this is what I got to say about this truck. Would I buy it? I don't know. It's got to have side rails because I do get tired of hopping in and out of the truck. Yes, I know I'm height challenged, but it's a ways up. That 2-inch lift in these tires raise up just a little more than I'm comfortable with. I certainly would consider it if I knew that the drawbacks were going to be some of the technology drawbacks, some of the comfort drawbacks. I would understand that's what I'm doing, and I'd be okay with that piece of it if I knew that. So you know that now. I just told you that, so you know it now. You are a smart consumer. So there you go. There's my thoughts on a 2020 Chevy Silverado. For more, check out this video over here. Also, website down below, as always.